Today, we're going to take a look at everything wrong on my 2006 E55 AMG. So let's dive in. My E55 is certainly not a clean E55. Not the most option and, of course, not the most reliable. And it now has a little over 131,000 miles. But that's okay with me, as driving this car and the enjoyment I get fixing and making improvements mean this car will only get better over time while also giving me satisfaction.
As a thank you for crossing 1,300 subscribers, don't forget I'm giving away this Bosch 010 intercooler pump. To get entered, subscribe and comment below what AMGs you've either had or own or want to own in the future. Thanks, and back to the video.
Comment below if there are any videos you wish to see on this car, and I will add it to the list. Starting off with the most recent issue, I need to fix the upper filter housing seals. They cost around 35 bucks, and I have them on order, so I will be doing that soon. Then to find the leak that is near the heater core. Probably going to be a hard one to get, but should have the cooling system back to 100% when it's finished. Many of you commented that the transmission pump whines too much, and it's annoying in some of my previous videos. Many people think it's power steering pump whine, but I plan on fixing this when it does finally break, or when I have the other more important issues fixed on all the other cars, so it's planned for the future, but just not yet. Then there's this $41 to replace linkage. It has a small ball joint and is the rear suspension level sensor. When the ball joint here disconnected, this plastic had become brittle and it just straight up yeets itself out of there. The suspension dropped and it would not raise up since the ECU had no idea the car was low. Thus began a 3-mile ride of shame, going slow with flat rear suspension. I made it home with no damage and a simple fix is kept together and working for now, but it's time to get this linkage rod put in. Don't forget to send in your pictures of your AMG if you want to be featured at the end of the month Q&A and subscriber video to baldmanmotorstipline@gmail.com. Okay, next up we have the radio system. This radio used to work, but now it just turns on and then shuts itself right back off. So I'm guessing some component in the audio gateway is having a problem, so I do need to diagnose that. Also, this front seat has ripped itself the past year or so, likely a symptom of my former state of Florida and all the constant heat. Since I have owned it, I kept the leather dressed and moisturized, and hardly anyone even uses this seat, so it is time really just to get a new leather seat bottom, and this will give me a great time to fix the power seat module that also went out under there, as it commonly does on these W211s. I got the inevitable overnight battery drain from this module, keeping itself on and the other systems awake. Next is the steering wheel wear. I'm going to have to end up replacing this, and so far I haven't been able to decide if I should get an Alcantara style or a stock one, or maybe a carbon fiber one, though I think maybe carbon on this would be a little too much, but let me know what you guys think down below. I did recently fix the rear ashtray that fell out and it busted, so I had to get another one. Also, I have had this carbon wrap for years with just carbon vinyl because the wood is cracked and it's sun faded really bad, and so I've recently purchased materials to overlay real carbon fiber with carbon fiber fabric and resin, so this should be a fun project and I think it'll look good. And if I fail, then oh well, and off to the junkyard for me to get some new wood trim, so stay tuned for that. I make videos on my German cars, so please subscribe if you're interested. I appreciate it, thanks. I've also been considering getting a carbon fiber front lip or rear diffuser. For the exhaust, I'm thinking about installing some cutouts. I really like the stock look, and I want the ability to make it loud or quiet, so that will likely be a project later this year. There's several areas of paint chips, beginnings of like rust or corrosion here in weird spots, and also the paint up here on this aluminum strip just likes to flake off randomly. New window tint is in order since it's been starting to come off. Man, the Florida heat did no favors to this car. The sun visor needs to be replaced, another common failure point in the W211 chassis. It falls down when I'm using the visor, so need to fix that. And the right turn signal in the headlight has been giving me grief for months now, working sometimes, making me think I fixed it and then having more issues. I had cleaned contacts in the bulb socket several times and even tried soldering leads to make sure it had a good connection, and that didn't fix it. So I'm thinking that the garbage wiring insulation in there is shorting out and thus causing a malfunction in the module. Common failure point for the W211, so I'll get there eventually. For the rest of the drivetrain, I really don't have any more repairs, but some mods I'd like to do. I'm looking into the usual suspects, a smaller supercharger pulley, probably a new tune. I still have the Race IQ tune with pops and bangs, which has been great, but with a new pulley, I'm ready to try a new tune. I want to add some heat exchangers, of course the aforementioned carbon fiber additions, and generally replacing anything that looks worn. I really want to get this car in pristine condition eventually. I haven't done wheels or suspension so far, as I actually enjoy the air suspension more than I expected. While it doesn't handle as great as some of the other vehicles, it is kind of nice to be able to adjust the levels and stuff. So for now, until it, probably wears my patience out and maybe wallet, I'm going to keep it as it is and just keep fixing some of the minor issues that I've had. I've already replaced the air compressor and one of the rear air springs, and overall it hasn't been too bad, but it's definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on. Also, for hard corners, I'd honestly rather rip the W210 E55 or my C55. If this were my only car, well, things would probably be a little bit different because I would probably be building it a little bit more for reliability. Anyways, thankfully, that wraps up this video. I don't think I'd want it any longer because that would mean it's getting expensive. So thank you all for watching, and until next time, bye for now.